By the time the siren swung onto Saffron Way, Denise Halford was practically climbing my 6-foot privacy gate, howling like she'd just discovered fire for the first time and trying to shake her clipboard free through the bar's clipboard on one side. Denise on the other, both trapped by my smart lock that had calmly clicked shut right after she'd slipped in my side yard to tape another violation notice to my grill. The lock wasn't doing anything heroic, it was just following its programming, blinking a polite blue light, absolutely indifferent to the chaos unfolding on the other side. See, my name's Adrian Holt, and I test software for a living, roast my own beans because I don't trust the stuff at the store, and generally like my world as organized as my toolbox, every socket in the right slot, every label facing forward. My place is in Hawthorne Bend, a suburb where people genuinely believe the right flower bed might keep life tidy, as if matching hydrangeas have ever solved a real problem. So, after losing 2 Amazon boxes in 1 month to porch pirates, I invested in a matte black steel side gate with a smart deadbolt geofencing, audit logs, auto lock, the works. That was my first real introduction to Denise, our HOA president, who treated her pearl cardigan like it was Kevlar and spoke in a tone that could slice through a brick wall. She decided my new gate was a threat to something she called the community bronze aesthetic. I decided I liked my packages not getting stolen. And just like that, the lines were drawn her with the full force of the HOA, me with my stubborn streak and a gate. The first official letter hit my mailbox on a Tuesday, all HOA letterhead and full legalese, as if we hadn't already squared off 3 times about whether my mailbox numbers were a hair too small. Your recently installed gate, it said, represents a stark departure from our established guidelines. Specifically, subsection 12.4 regarding acceptable metal finishes. The matte black, apparently, was aggressive. I shot back my own letter just as formal, but with attached police reports for the stolen packages, plus the relevant bylaws, which mentioned nothing about color, just height. My gate, well within limits. Denise responded by launching a barrage of letters, sometimes 2 a day. One time she cited my emotionally small flag. Once she claimed my doormat's welcome was sarcastically positioned. I still can't figure out what that means. She started showing up at odd hours, camera with a zoom lens the size of a telescope, snapping shots of my trash can, my mailbox. My supposedly unregistered Rosemary Busher morning wellness checks became a running joke, but it wasn't so funny seeing her try random codes on my keypad. 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Even her birthday, which she'd announced at the last potluck. The smart lock app pinged me every single time she failed, building a digital case, file even a lawyer would envy. She didn't work alone, either. Suddenly, Gerald from 2 doors down was worried about my solar lights. Margaret across the street had mosquito phobia about my rain barrel, and everybody had an opinion about my illicit smoker. I found out Gerald only complained after Denise promised to fast-track his shed permit. One afternoon in the grocery store, he actually apologized, whispering. She said she'd stop if I just wrote one up. It was like HOA Survivor, with Denise playing puppet master behind the scenes. The true comedy, though, was when she reported my security cameras for violating her privacy while she was snooping in my yard. Her logic was breathtaking. She needed to trespass to check if the cameras were catching her trespass. I put up a sign, "Smile, you are on HOA camera." She snapped a photo of that as evidence of hostility. The day she got trapped was almost poetic. My landscaper had propped the gate open to haul and mulch. Denise was apparently parked 3 houses down in her beige sedan, watching through binoculars for birding, she said. The gate, doing its job, swung shut behind her, auto-locked, and left her pacing my side yard, yanking on the handle like a raccoon at a garbage can. She tried her brass Master HOA key, which honestly looked like it came from her grandma's jewelry box. No luck. So she staged a one-woman play in front of my doorbell camera shouting about unlawful confinement, illegal gates, and her right to conduct community business. That's when she called 911, reported a barricaded subject, and kidnapping by lock. 2 patrol cars rolled up, lights flashing, but sirens off, and even the officers looked like they just walked into a sitcom. Their body cams caught everything. Denise clutching the bars, my no HOA access sign gleaming in the background, me arriving with my travel mug, unlocking the gate with my phone while she sputtered about unconstitutional home security. The officers watched her crawl under my jasmine vine like a raccoon in pearls. I swear in, then calmly informed her, "Ma'am, you locked yourself in someone else's yard." She tried blaming me, of course, but the footage was crystal clear. The citation for misuse of 911 went to Denise. So did a formal trespass warning. One officer actually suggested I consider a restraining order, for both your blood pressure's sake. Denise wasn't done. She emailed the fire marshal, demanding I disable my gate for emergency aesthetics. His reply copied to the entire board said my setup was up to code and that disabling it could endanger during a courageous grilling incident. And then the group chat leaks started. Some brave soul sent around board texts. "Denise, if the gate can be locked, we must hold the key." The treasurer, "Are you serious right now?" I almost felt bad for her. Almost. The emergency HOA meeting was like a suburban courtroom drama, every folding chair filled, lemonade sweating on the table, nobody touching it. I showed up with my tiny projector and the calmest face I could manage. Played the doorbell footage, scrolled through the audit logs, even showed the spreadsheet of 32 violation notices since March, including one about an unauthorized broom. The crowd shifted from silence to side-eye to outright mutiny. Tom Garrett admitted Denise measured his grass at dawn. Susan Choi said she'd been told her door was too confident a blue. An older couple confessed they'd been scared to plant tomatoes for years because Denise said vegetables are unsightly. Even the insurance guy warned the board that trespass plus 911 abuse could void their policy. Literally pulled up documents and started humming, louder with every page. The treasurer calculated that defending a lawsuit could bankrupt the HOA. Somebody yelled maybe they should just use the Bronze Gate Fund, which sent Denise into a rant about community priorities. In the end, the board voted Denise out unanimous except for herself. And even then she tried to argue the vote was invalid because the motion hadn't been filed 72 hours in advance. The secretary pointed to the emergency meeting rule, written and laminated by else Denise herself. A week later, in court, the judge reviewed all the evidence, doorbell videos, audit logs, even a freeze frame of Denise crawling under the vines. 3 times the judge asked if Denise truly believed she could enter private property because of HOA bylaws. 3 times, Denise said yes, citing imaginary rules. The judge fined her $800 for false reporting, granted me a 1-year no-contact order, then added $500 for contempt when Denise started arguing jurisdiction. As the final cherry, the judge explained slowly that Denise couldn't leave notices, conduct inspections, or even approach my property. You'd think that would be the end, right? Not quite. 2 weeks later, Denise's replacement, a guy named Ed who actually waves when he jogs by, sent a Leturno violation, just an apology, and a coupon for a free coffee at the local bakery. The board voted to drop the Bronze Aesthetic Initiative, and my gate still stands, blinking its friendly blue light every evening. But you know what? Sometimes I still catch Denise driving past in her beige sedan, glaring at my fence like it personally betrayed her. I guess some folks just can't let go. Me, I'm happy with my packages, my coffee, and the knowledge that sometimes the best defense is just letting the truth in. A well-programmed lock do its thing. So what do you think? Was I in the right to stand my ground? Or did the HOA have a point about community aesthetics? Ever had a neighbor go to war over something as silly as a gate? Drop your story or your take below. I promise. You can use as many words as you want. No HOA violation for that.